Can we and do we want to imagine a life without internet access? A rhetorical question, because switching off is no longer a viable option, even in security-sensitive areas of government or industry. Today, the internet is no longer just a nice to have. It is an integral part of our economy and must be safe to use. To achieve this goal and solve the security problem, we first need to understand it. Attackers need a gateway, a way to reach our IT infrastructures in the first place. It is not surprising that criminals have chosen the browser as their ideal entry point, and ordinary web browsers make it comparatively easy for them. Web browsers contain countless security vulnerabilities, many of which are highly dangerous for systems and their users. They are executed in the internal network with the system authorizations of the logged-in user and have full access to internal data. The web browser can therefore access both internal data and the open internet at the same time. Just one click on a malicious website can be enough to retrieve malicious code or leak confidential material. A drive-by download can cause considerable damage. The range of possible harmful effects is huge. Data can leak out and fall into the wrong hands. Once it has disappeared into the depth of the internet, can never be retrieved. Information technology systems can be sabotaged, put out of operation for long periods, or made inaccessible through encryption. Of course, ideas to avert these dangers have been around since the advent of information technology. However, most approaches have one major disadvantage: they are purely reactive. In other words, they try to recognize known attack strategies and take appropriate countermeasures. But even they overlook some things, and by their very nature, they cannot react to zero-day exploits or targeted attacks. In order to effectively counter this threat from the internet, protection systems should work preventively and diffuse potential dangers. And this is possible with TightGate-Pro, the remote-controlled browser system from mPrivacy. TightGate-Pro is a protection system that works on the principle of a remote-controlled web browser. It runs on a dedicated server computer located outside the internal network in the demilitarized zone. The web browser on TightGate-Pro is controlled remotely from the workstation PCs in the internal network using a mouse and keyboard. Instead of the web browser installed locally on the workstation computer, the browser on TightGate-Pro retrieves the desired content from the open internet and, this is the decisive factor, delivers it back to the workstation exclusively as image and sound data via a function-specific network protocol. Technically speaking, the user operates a web browser on a remote computer and only sees its screen output. Attacks from the internet via the web browser can at best reach the heavily hardened TightGate-Pro system, but not the internal network. The function-specific protocol, on the other hand, which only transports audio and video data and enables remote control, offers attackers no means of accessing the internal network. The best thing about it is the preventive nature of this protection principle. TightGate-Pro is not dependent on recognizing potential attacks as such, because by separating the browser's execution environment, attacks can no longer even reach the internal network. The internal network can thus be sealed off from the open internet by closing internet ports 80 and 443 on the firewalls. Attackers are reliably blocked out and sensitive data cannot flow out. The internet can still be used with TightGate-Pro. The security level of the workstation computers is always in the green zone. As already mentioned, the internet can be used in a fully functional way. For example, all web services can be used. Nobody has to retrain because TightGate-Pro uses the familiar Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome browsers. Multimedia content can be played back, and video conferencing, which is so important today, is also possible. The TightGate-Pro protection system is largely transparent for the user, even copying and pasting text contents works. Specialist procedures that require direct internet access or special browser environments are not executed on TightGate-Pro, but can still be used securely. More on this later. TightGate-Pro actually changes very little in everyday life, and you can browse with the good feeling of being safe on the internet in any situation. TightGate-Pro's largely identical functionality to standard web browsers saves on training costs, makes the transition to new technology in companies and public authorities easier, and speeds up the rollout. In fact, there are hardly any differences in the screen display compared to a local web browser. Of course, there is more to using the internet than just viewing websites. But although the internal network is isolated from the open internet when using TightGate-Pro, downloads are also securely possible. The file gateway, which can also be conveniently controlled remotely from the workstation, is used for this purpose. A requested download is first cached on TightGate-Pro at a safe distance. Downloaded files can be easily transferred to the workstation computer, provided an automatic malware check has determined that they are safe. This also works in the opposite direction, enabling uploads to remote locations on the open internet without the risk of unintentional data leakage. TightGate-Pro is the central building block in a secure IT infrastructure for using the open internet. The preventive protection concept is based on the basic concept of sealing off internal networks. By closing Internet ports 80 and 443 for the internal network, not only is the web browser prevented from unwanted web access, but other applications can no longer send telemetry or other data in an uncontrolled manner. Specialist applications that require direct internet access or special browser environments can be approved via a whitelist and continue to be used alongside TightGate-Pro. As they always communicate with trusted, known remote stations, there are no additional security risks. In addition, TightGate-Pro's link switch can automatically check links in emails, Office documents or the intranet to see whether they refer to trustworthy internal resources. Links to resources on the open internet are recognized as such and processed by TightGate-Pro, while local links continue to be displayed by the local browser. The user no longer has to worry about this. Everything works intuitively in the sense of a consistent separation of internal resources from the open internet. The two-browser strategy, which has proven to be particularly secure, is implemented automatically by TightGate-Pro. Browser 1 is the remote-controlled and therefore inherently secure web browser. It alone communicates with the open internet, reliably fends off attacks and also ensures that the numerous security vulnerabilities of local applications cannot affect the internal network. Browser 2, the local browser, remains completely separate from this and is responsible for internal matters such as an intranet. Specialist applications connect directly to trusted remote stations as before. This is IT security at its best. Unnoticed in the background, always on hand at the right moment as a preventative measure and without any restrictions in terms of functionality and application experience. The TightGate-Pro ReCoBS system is BSI certified, achieves protection level EAL3+, and can be used equally efficiently in both small and very large infrastructures. It fully covers all the functions of common applications, and access to the open internet is carried out consistently and without user intervention via TightGate-Pro. Modern cluster computer systems guarantee the best possible performance and reliability even with high user numbers or availability requirements. Customized versions of TightGate-Pro are available for special applications. So don't switch off your internet access, switch now to TightGate-Pro, the secure web browser from mPrivacy.